Ooh, man, how are you guys? This is MegaBM. Welcome back to a brand new NCT 127 review. We're continuing to work through the albums. We're near the end now, I think. Then we got two more full albums, and then we have all the repackaged version, like additional songs. We're gonna do all in one go. I think we got a couple EPs and some singles as well, and then we're completely done with NCT 127 until they release some new music. So today we're going to be doing the second album, Neozone, which has 13 songs. We're back on the main the main albums. Specifically, the main song here I think is Kick It, which is 109 million views. But first off, we're going to be starting with Elevator, 127 Floor. And that was Elevator. Good start. Really, really good, strong start to the album so far. Really funky and like it felt really like I kept saying during the reaction then that it sounded like Sonic music, right? Like it was good, like kind of funk, kind of just you want to move, you know. You got that kind of electro funk kind of thing going on. It kind of sounded a bit 90s to me. Didn't sound like its era, which is good. Really solid start. I think that's a 7. I think that's a 7 out of 10. I thought that was a really solid track to start off with. Next up is the most played song by a long stretch on the album, which is Kick It. So hopefully, if it's played that much, it must be good, right? And that was Kick It. I don't know about that. I was not crazy about that one, to be honest. It was fine. Like it was a fine track. It interesting instrumental to it. Um, it did a lot of like that kind of harmony thing they did in Two Baddies later on, where they're like almost yelling whilst harmonizing, which I don't like very much. I think it's a 5. Honestly, it's an average song. It's completely average. Nothing special about it, to be honest. And if you like that kind of yelling harmony thing they do, then you probably will like that. Next up is Boom. Hopefully, it's a bit of a step back up to 7 out of 10. That was Boom, which was a really kind of just I have no idea how I feel about that track. Honestly, some of it was really good, some of it was kind of like it would just kind of slow down a bit too much for me. It went a bit too slow. There were some really good singing sections in it though. I think it's probably a 5. Kind of feels like a wasted potential song. I feel like they could have made that really good. Next up is Pandora's Box. Let's hope we're gonna get some more good stuff. We haven't had anything bad yet, so that's always good. And that one was Pandora's Box, which was fine, completely fine. To be honest, decent. Once again, there wasn't exactly anything that stood out. I thought the chorus was pretty decent though. Yeah, nice kind of relaxing vibe to it. I think that's a 6. I think that's a perfectly good song from in the album so far. It's just a generally decent album. Nothing's like really kind of sat up and made me take notice yet. So hopefully we're gonna get some of that later in the album. Next up is Daydream. That was Daydream, and wow, wow, that was bad. That was not an enjoyable song. Yikes! Just it's like the na 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 style in the background really warned me very quickly. The drum beat in the background wasn't to my liking anyway. The instrumental was not. I didn't really like that much, considering how good some of the beat production has been. It's not great, but that made it really well. That was much worse. That made it so much worse. That's a 2. That's a 2 out of 10. That was an absolutely shocking track. Really, really poor. Now, next up is the interlude. I'm not sure if this is going to have anything that's necessary, so I'm just going to listen to it before I put it on the list. Yeah, that was weird. I'm not going to count that as part of the review. That was really strange. It was some weird dubstep beat. Next up is Mad Dog, which is in all caps for some reason, so maybe might mean it's good. Wow. Wow. That was bad. Oh my word. Oh my word. Kia's listening to Bring the Noise. What a terrible decision. Um, that was shocking. I mean, that was shocking. Fuck me. 2 bad songs back to back. If you ignore the interlude, which in retrospect, the interlude is like a good kind of bit to take you away from Daydream, which is a boring, bad song, to Mad Dog, which is a horrific, horrific noise song. That was not to my liking at all. That's a 1. That's the first 1. That's the first 1 star I've given so far. That was so abrasive to my ears. That fucking noise that they put in the background there. That was awful. It was like it was like a malfunctioning drill. What was that about? What a strange decision to put that in the song. Hopefully it gets better. We've got Sit Down here, but fuck me. Jesus, this album dropped fast. Jesus Christ. Alright, this album is not having a good time right now. It's at least better than the previous 2 songs. That's all I can say about it. At least it was better than the other 2 songs. But that's not saying much. I still did not enjoy that song very much. Just that shouting harmony is just not to my liking, and the beat was strange as well with that song. I think it's probably a 3. This is a really, really bad streak they're on in this album. This is unprecedented with NCT for me. Unprecedented, back to back to back bad songs. Very weird. Hopefully they're going to pick it back up again on the end and we finish off on a high, because I really don't want us to end on this kind of scoring. I don't like doing it. Next up is Love Me Now. Oh, please, for the love of God, please. Please be good. That was Love Me Now, which was finally we're back to kind of at least it's not bad. It wasn't exactly good. Like I wasn't like, oh wow, what a good song that was. It was like fine. But I mean that's an improvement based on the other three we've just listened to. So it's good to be back at 5 out of 10. It was fine. It was just I thought it was just a bit boring. There wasn't anything kind of standing out with that one. But because we're back to normalcy, I will hopefully see something good near the end of the album. Next up is Love Song. That was Love Song. Return to form, I'd say. That was another improvement on what we've just listened to the past four. So that's good. The beat was really interesting. It reminded me of what's the song called by Bruno Mars? That's how I like it. That's how I like it. That song. That's what the beat reminded me of when I first heard it. Yeah, it was really good. Nice, quite funky, but I thought the vocals were fine. Like they weren't great. The rapping bit was like almost too short. It was there for like 5 seconds and it was gone. Didn't really see the point of that being there. I think that's a 6. It's a 6 though. It's a good song. It's somewhat good. Next up is track number 11, White Knight. Hopefully, we're going to continue the trend of going up and up on the previous ones. That was White Knight. Yeah, another completely fine, standard, slow-paced song from them, which I've made very clear in my other album reviews that I'm not a big fan of how they do slow songs. I think, pardon me, I think their slow songs are kind of boring. I don't think their voices suit kind of slow songs. I don't think they're great at. They're much better kind of like upbeat, kind of almost hype songs. I think they're really good at those. If you take out the shouting harmony they do sometimes, which is absolutely horrific. I think that's a 5. I think that was just a completely solid song, to be quite honest. Next up is Not Alone. Not Knit Alone, Not Alone. And that was Not Alone, second last track on the album. Good. I'm happy with that. Thought that was a really kind of solid return after White Knight. I thought that was really solid. That's if they're going to do a slow song, it kind of has to be like that for it to work. And I don't think they do them quite like that very often. But yeah, good song, good instrumental, and good vocals, nice harmony to them. I think that's a 6. And next up is Dreams Come True. That's the final track. Hopefully they go out with a bang. And that right there was the final song. That was Dreams Come True. And good end. I thought that was a decent end to the album. Wasn't like blew me away or anything, but it was good, solid finish to the album. It's tough to give it. I reckon it's a 6. I think it was a really just nice, good finishing off vibe. Really did well. To kind of considering how much dropped at the middle point of the album, it's kind of it managed to keep itself average near the average above average in the last third, which is good of it. But that's it. That's all of Neozone reviewed. Overall, bit up and down this album. I thought it started off okay, for a decent start. Obviously, Elevator, my favorite song. This is the first album of NCT that's had 0 8 out of 10s so far, which is bizarre to me. And it also has the lowest scoring song of all time in Mad Dog. It has the most below 5s I think I've given out to an album, which is 3. I think there was 2 in Awaken. 2 or 3. Maybe there was 3 in Awaken, actually. But this definitely is joint top, at least. And I think I have to put it down as this is probably the worst album I've listened to so far. That said, there's a lot of decent tracks on here, a lot of decent ones. Elevator I thought was a good track as well. It's just that midpoint. The midpoint drops so badly, and it kind of misses an 8 out of 10. I feel like it needs an 8 out of 10, that song in this, but it just doesn't have one, which is unfortunate. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.